You're now tuned into $1 million worth of game. This is the sports edition. Listen, man, we got Big Stephen A. Smith in here, man. He got a new book come out, called Straight Shooters, a memoir, Second Chances and First Takes is going down. You know, he had a lot of second chances in his journey. I'm talking about the thing about this too. Listen, January 17th, he's doing a book signing in Ridgewood, New Jersey. It's going to be at Bookends. Make sure you're there. He signed 20,000 books already. And listen, check out his podcast, No Mercy. The thing about this podcast, it come out 3 times a week. That's a lot of work in the podcast game, bro.
Tell me about it. I'm just learning that.
That's
bro.
a lot of work.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
I didn't know.
Listen, that's a lot of work. But he's going to talk about his journey, man. This book, he talk about his ups and downs, man. He was in Philly. He was in Philly for a while, baby. Yes. He was doing his thing. He had to stop in Philly, but he just was doing his thing, and he out here, man, and he just killing the game, man. And we happy to have you here. You know what I mean? You're a sports legend. Either way it go, you know what I mean? I heard you ain't had no game though. Right. I heard my record was a little stronger than yours when I played ball.
They can pop that shit all they want to. When they were on the court against me, they didn't feel that way. But I wasn't no pro. I'll admit that. It is. Sources say.
Sources said that my record against yours was a little better. You went to Winston-Salem. I went to Penitentiary University. My stats was a little stronger than yours. I was defensive player of the year, and they said you was coming off the bench too.
Right. Well, hell yeah, I was coming off the bench. I cracked my kneecap and had my first year, man, so I ain't had much of a college career, but I was good enough to get a basketball scholarship and a full ride, despite the fact I was playing on one leg. So I don't know how many people can top that.
Oh, see, he hyping it up.
We don't got no stats. We don't got no stats.
Ain't no stats. That's what I'm saying. I cracked my kneecap and I ain't had no stats.
Hey, he can tell us anything. He can tell us anything. Anybody, you never knew nobody get a fully paid scholarship on one leg with a half a knee. What happened is 3 of my toes ain't work.
Listen, little Bobby on Jackson State crossed him over, broke him down. That's probably what happened.
Please,
was it crossover?
Maybe it might have been.
It might have
been. So he not
playing the fifth.
So, shout out to all the HBCUs out there, man. Right. Much love to y'all, man. Jackson State always. Yeah. But as we go, I got a beef with you too, because KD, my man.
Okay, sure.
KD, you stay on my man. That's my man.
Whatever beef you have, I'm here.
That's my man. I'm just saying, that's my man. I ain't going for that. You gonna stop for this day forward, KD? He gonna stop it. We gonna have a talk on the side.
I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about. I think when healthy, he's the best on the planet.
Okay, all right.
That's what I said. I mean, it's been on the record.
Okay. It's on the record, but you do be grinding him up a little bit too.
You do grind him up here and there though.
Well, you know what? To me, it's not even his game per se, man. It's just that when you're that surreal, when you that big time, man, you can't tolerate some BS. You got cats around you that ain't doing the job. You got to make sure you hold them accountable. It can't be like, yo, man, I just want to have a good time. I just want to play the right way. Hell with that. You're a 2-time champion, 2-time NBA Finals MVP, one of the greatest scorers in the history of basketball. I mean, you got to hold cats accountable. That's the position that you're in, because you can't do it by yourself. You got to make sure they're doing their damn job.
Well, he didn't know it was going to be a COVID protocol. Well, you know Kyrie wasn't coming to work.
I feel you on that, but when that happens, it's adjustment. Now, me personally, I've been on the record. I said this. I'll say this in front of y'all right now, because I know y'all some real cats. Here's the deal. Vaccine is vaccine. I got all that. You don't want to take the vaccine. So Isaiah Thomas was getting on me one day, and Kyrie dropped like 50 on Orlando last year, and Isaiah was like, yo, you see that, Stephen A? I called him the next morning. I said, appreciate you, bro. So I said, look, Isaiah, if Kyrie Irving was on your team and there was a chip on the line, what would you have done? He started laughing. He said, we'd have tied his ass up. We'd have gave him the vaccine our damn self. He'd have been pissed off, but he would have been eligible to play. I said, thank you. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, it's about the chip. This is what we going for. Get over it. Get over it. I said it then. I'm saying it now. I'll say it 10 years from now. I ain't backing up from that position one bit.
All right, now I would say this: everybody got their own choice,
right? The
choice of life and how to live.
Sure.
So he's strong about that, and his life is more important than the game or the team or whatever. So it teach his own. Ain't nobody wrong, ain't nobody right.
Right.
But I will say this: I'm not a sports guy too much. You know what I mean? I had a game back when I was young. I could have went to the league. I played football, baseball. I mean, a lot of places went. You went to Cabrini College. Stop that shit. You went to a bum college. Nobody know that college. So don't even count that. So, but what I do know certain stuff, and I did my reading on some stuff, and I said, okay.
This episode of $1 Million Worth of Game is brought to you by
New Amsterdam Vodka.
New Amsterdam Vodka. Now, life ain't going your way.
Shot of New Amsterdam Vodka.
You caught your woman cheating today.
Shout out New Amsterdam vodka.
They told you your check was in the mail and that bitch didn't come your way.
Shout out New Amsterdam vodka.
It's distilled 5 times, filtered 3 times. If you speak Spanish, that's uno, dos, tres. For a clean, crisp finish. So you could drink it with anything, straight up on the rocks. Make the classic New Amsterdam Mule, juice, soda, whatever your choice is. So when you're out and about at your local liquor store, you know what to do. Get you some New Amsterdam vodka, the official vodka of Barstool Sports, and $1 million worth of game. And shout out to the New Amsterdam Queen. She don't like, she hate when I miss her shout out. Shout out to the New Amsterdam Queen. Be at the crib cocktailing it up with the New Amsterdam. Get you some. Right.
Outside of Michael Jordan, who's the second greatest player that ever played basketball?
Me personally, if you're talking resume, it would be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. If you're talking skill, to me, it's LeBron James.
It's LeBron James.
I think LeBron James is the second greatest player in the history of basketball.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. LeBron James is the second greatest player.
He's better than Kobe?
Yes. Absolutely.
Why is he better?
It hurts me to say that because...
I'm not saying because I need to know.
No, it hurts me to say that because Kobe was my man, but Kobe was a scoring machine and Kobe was an assassin. But here's the analogy that I throw by a lot of basketball experts. You do understand that when you look at Kobe, you automatically think number 2 at his position.
Right.
Because he emulated Michael Jordan. Right. He just wasn't MJ.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so when you think about LeBron, without question, the greatest small forward that ever played the game of basketball. You look at him 6'9", 260, the versatility, the passing skills, the scoring prowess, and all of those things in between. What he brought to the table, 10 NBA Finals appearances, 4 NBA championships, will retire as the all-time leading scorer in the history of basketball. Shooting, field goal percentage shooting was greater. 3-point percentage shooting was right up there with Kobe's, if not better. All of those things taken into consideration, didn't have Shaq at his disposal, didn't have Phil Jackson as a coach to lean on. All of those things taken into consideration, you look at Kobe without taking anything away from the Black Mamba, one of the greatest ever. You just look at LeBron James as the Mount Rushmore, as a member of the Mount Rushmore of basketball. One of the top 4 or 5 players in the history of basketball. You've never said that about Kobe. What we've said about Kobe is that he's better than everybody but MJ at his position. When we talk about LeBron, we say the best at basketball, period. There's a different discussion.
So who's your top 5? Mike, LeBron?
I would tell you MJ, LeBron, Kareem. Me personally, I can't take away from Bill Russell and the 11 chips because of the times he was living in and what he had to go through. Black man in Boston, Massachusetts, having to deal with all that he had to deal with. Still not just leading as a player, but then a player coach and winning championship that way. And I would tell you, after I take that into consideration, I'd bring in Irving Magic Johnson.
What about KD?
KD as a scoring machine talent, yes. KD as a leader, no. You got to remember, Magic Johnson's in L.A. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy, Byron Scott, Norm Nixon before him, Michael Cooper, Michael Thompson, all of these cats. Magic Johnson, the greatest point guard, the greatest passer in the history of basketball, was also the greatest leader because he was the one that convinced everybody there's something here for all of us. Do your job. And I do my job, and together we gonna shine and we gonna own this decade. You see, when you look at it from that perspective, what do you say about KD? I love KD. KD, good people. KD's a phenomenal player and scorer and all of that stuff. You couldn't get it done in Oklahoma City in large part because you were playing with Russell Westbrook, and we understand what that dynamic entails. You go to Golden State, perfect system for you, back-to-back championships, back-to-back MVPs. I think they would have three-peated easily. They would have swept Toronto with Kawhi Leonard if KD was healthy, all right? But then you come to Brooklyn, and for some reason, even though I think they would have beat Milwaukee a couple of years ago before Kyrie hurt his ankle, okay, the fact of the matter is when you look at all the turmoil, all the chaos that is taking place, that's part of it, bro. That's part of it. See, we want to act like the leadership element is not a part of it, but you can't win without a team, right? Well, part of it is making sure that your team is intact. Kobe, once he wanted Shaq gone, they trade for Pau Gasol. They lose in the finals to Boston, the first go-round in 08. Mm-hmm. They come back, take out Dwight Howard in Orlando in 09. In 10, they avenge their loss to Boston. They win in 7, back in L.A. Kobe's leadership was what galvanized those troops in terms of Andrew Bynum, Gasol, and all of these brothers. Go strong, be hard, stop being a bunch of damn sissies, handle your business. All of this other shit. Leadership plays a role. Without that, you just an individual talent that gives us numbers. But the leadership is what brings you chips.
All right, now you say
Well,
leadership.
I think when you talk about leadership, I think people lead in different ways.
I agree.
I feel like Steph Curry is not the leader that's in the locker room like, yo, what you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Steph Curry is like, no, I'm about to go out here and hit 10 threes,
right,
and I'm at 45 points, and y'all follow the train.
Yeah, but they would still lose, right? Like you're saying, because I'm buffering your point. You're right. What I'm saying to you is this. You got Draymond for that, who's a vocal leader. You got other cats that come, that, you know, they get assembled. You got Bob Myers, Steve Kerr, all this other stuff. But what they do is enable Steph to be Steph. And so Steph is able to play a role because it's widely understood he's the untouchable dude. Every year when the season is over, Draymond Green will tell y'all this. He takes the entire team out to Vegas, right? And it's universally understood. Everybody's showing up. Everybody gonna party. Everybody gonna have a good time. But Steph don't do that. You know, Christian dude, stay at home with the wife and family and all this. He just lives differently. And so because of that, everything evolves around him. Even though he ain't there, they understand there's rules that apply to them and there's rules that apply to him. See, it's that understanding. With KD, what you find is stuff that seems a bit chaotic from time to time. Not this season, but in the past, stuff that seemed chaotic. Who's leading? Who's going to say something? Who's going to stand up? Who's going to be the voice? Who's going to do X, Y, and Z? You got all of these question marks. You don't have those question marks on those teams that have championships. It's universally understood what everybody's role is.
But you don't think today, like, and I understand certain teams get it and certain teams about your background, about your upbringing. Yeah. Today, certain people might want to play that role, but they can't because you're dealing with players now that they don't want to listen. They think they Hollywood. They Instagram popping. They fly. They wear the clothes. They got the cars. They got the jewelry on. So KD can't always be that guy. Not saying he don't want to be that guy.
It might not be his personality to be that guy.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm not asking for one particular personality. Okay. I'm just talking about it in result. Yeah. There's a multitude. Like, for example, what you just said about what I said about like somebody like MJ scared the living hell out of you. Kobe scared the living hell out of you. Shaq, he was fun loving. You wanted to do things for him because he was just that dude and y'all loved him to death, right? Steph is quiet, all right? KD might be a compilation of a multitude of things. We don't know. At the end of the day, what I'm saying is whatever it takes is what you're supposed to do when you're that dude. Y'all got a show here. Y'all doing y'all show. Y'all doing big things. Y'all know what y'all roles are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but y'all know, and the people that work around you know what their roles are. If somebody's out of pocket, it disrupts everything.
Absolutely. And I will say, I agree with you because that's my position. Like, I'm a true leader. Like, I'm Michael Jordan. He's Paxson. He's Purdue. So I got to deal with it. You know, he's not on that level yet. So I'm always got to deal with stuff and be a leader. So I understand. I'll be able to take a lot of stuff and be like, okay, I'm gonna handle that. Right. Now you talking about leadership, right? Yes, I want to ask you a question.
Sure, man.
Because it's all about winning.
All right.
Who you picking out of? Because I'm gonna just say this. I look at Aaron Rodgers, I see him, everybody, Aaron, I was looking at the game, everybody. But I look at stats. I go to Google, I look at stats.
True.
You're picking Aaron Rodgers or Eli Manning? Who you picking?
Eli Manning.
No, I said, who you?
Oh.
Me personally, I'm picking Aaron Rodgers.
Why?
Well, let me tell you this. Eli Manning is a two-time champion.
Yes. That's all that matters.
Aaron Rodgers is not.
That's all that matters, Steve.
You can say that, and I get it. Especially
you just said, because you said chips.
Exactly, right? But I'm also looking at that pass rush that he had for a defense that helped him beat New England twice. I'm also looking at the defense overall in his football now. I'm thinking about Tom Coughlin, who was a stickler for detail and all of this other stuff. I'm thinking about all of those things. I'm thinking about the Aaron Rodgers that was playing and winning MVPs when Eli Manning was leading the league in interceptions 3 separate times. I'm thinking about the Aaron Rodgers that was getting to the playoffs and getting 5 NFC championship games while Eli Manning was missing the postseason 8 times, 7 times in 8 years. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about all of those things too. And so then I'm taking into account Mike McCarthy and the accusations of him having an archaic point of view when it came to offenses. I'm thinking about the Green Bay Packers being run by stockholders and how there was a lot of moves that they could have made and should have made, but they didn't make. I'm taking all of those things into consideration to draw my conclusion. Basketball would be different. Because you give me 2 stars and a bunch of role players, I can win the chip. But in football, you can throw for 5,000 yards and still go home like Aaron Rodgers did. I'm sorry, like Tom Brady did last year. You can have an elite defense and not get to the postseason or not get to the championship because your offense sucks. There's a whole bunch of things. Your special teams, like New England lost yesterday. Special teams lost that game to Buffalo. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, on Sunday, last Sunday. Special teams lost that game. New England defense didn't lose that game. Mm-hmm. They weren't giving up much to Josh Allen. Well, they gave that 1 touchdown to Stephon Diggs. Outside of that, they were balling. But they can't score for you. They can't play offense for you. They can't play special teams for you. Basketball is different. You playing both ends of the floor, and you give me 2 stars and a bunch of role players. MJ and Scottie Pippen showed you what they could do with that. Not to throw any shade on Dennis Rodman or Horace Grant before him or anything like that. But Scottie Pippen and MJ was enough to guarantee you a deep playoff run at the very least on a basketball court. That doesn't work in football.
Yeah, but at the same time, Steve, Aaron Rodgers, that defense didn't give up a whole slew of points.
I agree.
Aaron Rodgers had the ball in his hands twice.
Yes.
With a chance to go ahead and a chance to tie it up. And he didn't make it happen.
He didn't get it done.
He didn't make it happen.
By the way, I'll help your point. He didn't get it done against the Lions to end this regular season. He didn't get it done last year against the San Francisco 49ers. He didn't get it done the year before that against the San Francisco 49ers. I understand that bad man just fucked up.
But he's not that bad of a man, Steve.
Wait a minute.
Because you keep saying he's a bad man. You never said that about Trent Dilfer. He won one Super Bowl.
I would tell you this. You can't commit that kind of blasphemy.
You never said that about Russell Wilson. He won one Super Bowl.
Did you just compare Russell Wilson, who was protected by Pete Carroll for years, and Trent Dilfer to Aaron Rodgers?
That bad man.
Did you just do that?
Okay. That bad man has won a bunch of MVPs. He's thrown for 5,000 yards. When it really count, that bad man has only won one time. That's
I agree.
It. Well, just once. He's been there 5 times. He's been to the championship game, but he only won one time.
Here's what you can say about Aaron Rodgers.
Just once.
Here's what you can say about Aaron Rodgers to buffer your point. He does not belong in the conversation with a Tom Brady.
At all.
He does not belong.
Joe Montana.
The Joe Montanas of the world. Damn it, Troy Aikmans of the world. Absolutely correct. The flip side to it is that up until this year, you had 16 games in the regular season. And there were numerous postseason appearances where he showed up and his teammates didn't. What about the NFC Championship game against Beast Mode in Seattle when, this cat botched the onside kick and gave the ball back to Seattle? There's been an inordinate amount of times in his postseason career where he has shown up and his teammates didn't, and we blame the Green Bay Packers, which was why we were so disappointed over him over the last 2 to 3 years, because we had come to his defense by pointing to what Green Bay was lacking, and then when they finally gave him it, he ain't show up.
Right.
So you're right about that.
But
that don't make him worse than Eli Manning.
But if you say, okay, I'm about to draft 2 quarterbacks. This quarterback is going to win 2 Super Bowls, and this quarterback is going to win 1 Super Bowl. 1,000 times out of 1,000 times, I'm going with 2. I don't care.
That is correct.
I don't care about the in between the seasons. The seasons with he's going in his tenure, he's going to get me 2 championships.
That's a smooth way.
I'm gonna feel confetti falling on me twice.
That's a smooth way to put it.
I'm gonna feel
that's a smooth way to
twice. How you would say it? Twice.
That's a smooth way to put it.
Instead of once.
That's a smooth way to put it. Here's your problem with your argument, because it's smooth. Very good argument. I got to use it one of these days on First Take. I really, really do, because it was real slick of you.
Don't be stealing when he's spilling.
No. I ain't stealing. I'll say it. I'll give credit where credit is due. I don't steal folks' ideas. I say this is what they did. Here's the deal, y'all. When you draft somebody, you don't count the chips. You count their ability. And the fact of the matter is, ability-wise, Eli Manning, over the course of his career, has proven that he's not on the level that Aaron Rodgers is on. There is no one who knows anything about football that would dispute that statement. No one. Now, he got 2 rings to Aaron Rodgers 1. No doubt about it. But no one would ever say Eli Manning was better than Aaron Rodgers.
And Eli Manning beat the GOAT, the real GOAT.
By the way, he beat Brett Favre in the Green Bay. Yeah,
he beat the GOAT.
I got you.
The real GOAT.
Twice.
So
Twice.
the bottom line is he may not win all the time, but he know how to win. He know how to go on a roll when they 9-7 and get it done.
You know, one of those games they won was 17-14, right?
I'm
just asking you. Are you walking around like it was 40-33 or something?
Right.
You know,
but the game last night,
17-14.
What was the
you
score,
do know that,
what was
right?
the score Sunday? Green Bay game.
Right. Oh, Aaron Rodgers. I'm not making any excuse for Aaron Rodgers.
What was the final score?
The issue is not an excuse for Aaron Rodgers. The issue is that he ain't worse than Eli Manning.
They put up 20 points.
He's not worse than Eli Manning.
I would rather have Eli Manning in the 2 Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers and a bunch of MVPs. MVPs is for Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers could have 0 Super Bowls. Aaron Rodgers could have 0 Super Bowls. We could sit up there and say, damn it, you a choke artist. You ain't show up. And still no one would say Eli was better than him.
They would say his career was.
Because of the rings.
Absolutely.
Because you got the 2 rings. You had those 2 moments.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's all that counts.
Okay.
That's all that counts, Steve.
Okay.
To me, the MVPs, because I know a bunch of people, Matthew Stafford threw for 4,900, 5,000 yards every year.
What are we going to say about Dan Marino? Dan Marino's never won a ring.
Right.
But we still look at him as one of the greatest ever because we know what we saw. And we know that Don Shula never gave him a defense.
That's like
and we
Barkley.
know that I'm just saying that Barkley is one of the all-time greats.
Legend.
All right, legend. But he never won the chip. It's like, again, we'd rather have the chips when all is said and done.
Side note, my game was like Barkley's too. Go ahead.
No, it wasn't.
we'd rather have that, but at the end of the day, you can't gloss over the individual greatness.
And
that's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is Barkley, he celebrated, but Barkley don't get the extra barbecue sauce on him because
I don't think Aaron Rodgers does either.
I'm just saying, you give him the extra barbecue sauce.
I did.
You did. Okay.
Not over the last 2-3 years.
Okay,
I'm very upset at what I've seen over the last 2-3 years.
You took the barbecue sauce back because you were saucing him.
I ain't taking the barbecue sauce back. I just ain't adding anymore.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Because you put enough barbecue sauce on him, and I don't be thinking you put enough barbecue sauce on Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, I got him as a top 2 candidate for MVP.
No, he shouldn't be top 2. He should be top 1. And you know why? Because nobody expected the Philadelphia Eagles to be the best team
that's why I have him as
in the league.
That's why I have him as my most improved player.
You could go across every network. Nobody picked the Philadelphia Eagles to be the first best team in the league.
I picked the Philadelphia Eagles to win that NFC East.
Right.
I picked them to be one of the top 2 teams in the NFC.
But we didn't think the NFC was going to have 3 teams in the playoffs either.
Oh yeah, well of course we do it. They got a winner for each division.
We didn't think the NFC got Philly, Dallas.
Oh, you're talking about the NFC East?
Yes, we didn't think the NFC East was going to be. You didn't expect your bums.
No. I expected the Cowboys to get in there as a wild card because I want to go home.
You didn't expect your Giants?
No, hell no, I expect the Giants. That was a shocker.
Right.
That was a shock. I did not expect the Giants, but I did expect the Eagles up in there. I did expect Tampa in there. I did expect San Fran up in there, no doubt about it. I didn't expect Seattle with Geno Smith either. Give them credit where credit is due.
Right.
Okay? But here's my thing with Jalen Hurts. He's clearly the most improved player. He's got that award down pat. He's clearly a top 2 candidate for league MVP honors. And it's a discussion that y'all are going to have in the days to come. All of us are going to have. So we just going to dismiss what we saw from Patrick Mahomes this year.
You love Patrick Mahomes.
No. I'm not going to dismiss it. I'm just going to say that, okay, are we talking about who's the best player? When we talk about who's the best player, without a doubt, it's Patrick Mahomes. When we talking about who's the best player this year and who meant the most to their team this year, and we're talking about a kid who's in his second year as a starting quarterback, and he threw 5.
Are you an Eagles fan? Are you Eagles fan?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Stay with me.
Hold on. He threw 5 interceptions. 1, 2, 3. Whole season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just one hand. Patrick Mahomes threw more interceptions than that in 2 games. Just in 2 games. Okay. So we can't take into consideration that this guy protects the ball. He also rushed for over 10 touchdowns. Okay. He also threw for over 20-something touchdowns. This kid is really doing his thing, and this kid is really deserves to be the MVP. Now, of course, Patrick Mahomes run around. He threw passes like this. He threw some awkward stuff. He threw things from angles that we never seen before. He's the greatest player in the league. But this year, for what Jalen Hurts meant to the Eagles, considering nobody considered this kid losing one game. One game, Steve. Just one. I mean, I'm hearing all types of analysts. Oh, it's the way, it's the scheme. Well, why the scheme didn't work for Gardner? The scheme didn't play no part for Gardner. But for Jalen Hurts, why does the scheme work? Because the kid went in the summertime and he put that work in, and he is no longer waiting for wide receivers to get open. He's throwing them open.
Do I get to respond?
Yes, you do.
Okay. Really nice soliloquy there. Here's the deal. Jalen Hurts, 14-1 as a starter. Jalen Hurts, clearly top 2 candidate for league MVP honors, like I said. Okay. Aren't we the same organization? Aren't we the same folks that have said the Philadelphia Eagles have the most complete team in football? I believe we've said that. We've looked at Sanders and those boys at the running back spot. They got that down. We've looked at the offensive line, and we said that's one of the best, if not the best, in football. We got that down. Devontae Smith out of Alabama can ball. And that brother still ain't A.J. Brown, who you got from Tennessee, right? So we got that going on. We got Goddard as one of the elite tight ends in football. So we got all of that, right? So that's
Shout out to Howie Roseman.
Hold on.
Stay doing a great job.
Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. So now we get to the defensive side of the ball. The middle of the field is a question mark. They got the secondary. They got the pass rushers. They got the defensive line. Now let's go to Kansas City. One of the things that I pay attention to that has me up going back and forth each day as to whether or not it's going to be Mahomes or Hurts, in all seriousness, is because I'm a huge Tyreek Hill fan. The brother's all world. And the ultimate deep threat in football just petrifies you. He catches a short pass, he can take it to the house. We've seen him do it throughout his career. The worst nightmare for a defender is for him catching the ball and then he turns around and he's able to square before he makes a move to evade you. That's how spectacular he is. Patrick Mahomes lost him. McCole Hardman ain't been that dude. Juju Smith-Schuster ain't been that dude. They have no running game to speak of. All they have is Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And still, they the number 1 seed in the AFC, okay, with a damn 14-3 record, with this brother putting up numbers similar to what the hell he did when he had Tyreek Hill and Kelce and all of those brothers. And what I'm saying to you is when you look at it from that perspective, the load that he has to carry, the Kansas City Chiefs arguably wouldn't even be in the playoffs without him. Now, where Hurts is supported is the 2 games he just missed, and the Eagles lost both games. The fact that he missed those games, and they lost those 2 games without him, actually buffers his argument. Because had the Eagles won without him, it would have hurt him. So the fact that they lost without him, whatever argument I can make on behalf of Patrick Mahomes, I now can make on behalf of Jalen Hurts. So it is a toss-up. All I'm saying is it's a toss-up.
And all I'm saying is...
That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is I feel like you be making excuses for Patrick Mahomes. Players leave teams
no Kansas City
every
Chiefs fan.
day. But listen, players leave
Dallas
teams.
Cowboys fan.
Players
you know
leave
better.
teams
You know better.
every day.
Right.
Tyreek Hill has been in Miami for a whole year now.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes Patrick Mahomes is throwing for 5,000 yards this year, right? 49, 40, somewhere around there, right? When you look up Travis Kelce, only has probably 1,200 of those yards. So it's some other wide receivers out there that's catching the ball, 3,000 yards worth of catches, 30-something hundred yards worth of catches.
But Patrick Mahomes is also required to throw the football more because they don't have a running game, whereas the Eagles have a big-time running game. So there's a lot of pressure that Jalen Hurts isn't asked to carry because of the pieces he has around him, but Patrick Mahomes doesn't have it.
No, Jalen Hurts' legs is what gets the job done because now it's mano on mano. It's not an extra man in the box because you have
So
to,
Saunders and those brothers don't run the football effectively for the Eagles.
No, but they do. But what I'm saying is that in the option of I might keep it, it keeps that defensive end right there. We seen what it did to Micah Parsons. Had him confused. Nick Sirianni said, you know what? We not even going to block him. Because once you let him just put his hand in the dirt and go, he's unstoppable. So guess what we gonna do? We gonna make him make a decision where he never does. And guess what he was doing? Running all over the place, tackling all the wrong people. He diving on a running back. Jalen Hurts going down the sideline. So see, Nick Sirianni should be coach of the year as well.
You know what? No.
Why?
Let me tell you why.
No.
Excuse me.
14-3.
Pick one.
No, it should be a clean sweep.
Jalen Hurts,
MVP and coach of the year. Don't act like it's never happened before.
Jalen Hurts if Jalen Hurts is your MVP,
then who's the coach of the year?
Then excuse me.
Who's the coach of the year?
How about Kyle Shanahan?
Kyle Shanahan.
The San Francisco 49ers lost their starting quarterback and their backup.
Wait. Hold on.
They are winning. They are winning football games with what is it, Mr. Irrelevant?
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Brock Purdy, who was the very last person taken in the draft. What are you talking about?
Okay, let me ask you a question. We would all agree that San Francisco probably was the most complete team at the beginning of the season.
No, that's not true.
What?
No.
Defense, running attack.
We look. First of all, they didn't have Christian McCaffrey at the time, so they didn't have that big of a running game, and they had Trey Lance, who was in his second year and hadn't proven anything yet. They were not considered the most. I'm just giving you facts. They were not considered the most, most together team. They were not. Jimmy Garoppolo, porn star Jimmy. It was a question as to whether or not that brother was going to be even on the team.
Okay, so
they told him to go elsewhere and see what money he could get.
So they
tried to give him away.
So let's rewind back to the beginning of the season. Did you, Stephen A. Smith, not pick the San Francisco 49ers to have a better record than the Eagles?
Yes.
Oh. But they didn't.
Because I thought that the Philadelphia Eagles would be battling in the NFC East, and I knew the NFC West was weak.
Right. I thought I saw a putty cat. I did.
But what
it didn't happen.
No. What I'm saying to you is this. Arizona, I knew was going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
That's why their coach just got fired.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, I didn't expect to do much because they had Geno Smith at the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Rams, I suspected was going to nosedive because they went all in to get their chip, and then they lost bodies, and all season evidenced by Von Miller going to leaving and go to Buffalo. Odell Beckham Jr. being out because he got injured in the Super Bowl, wasn't going to be back. I knew they were going to be compromised, and so you looked at the NFC West and you said, okay, by default, you really are going to be in a relatively weak division. You should be able to handle your business in that regard. Whereas in the NFC East, with Dallas, with the Giants, with Washington, and you're sitting there looking at the Eagles, and Jalen Hurts had not done what he did this year because he worked on his game in the offseason. We didn't see all of that coming. And remember, we were making predictions even before they acquired A.J. Brown. Because once they acquired A.J. Brown, that changed everybody's thinking about the Eagles. We were like, oh, shit. I mean, these brothers might have something going on. And it all comes down to Hurts because we knew that they had everything else in place.
And that's what the whole season came down. Every commentator all over the TV, all over the world said the Philadelphia season comes down to the development of Jalen Hurts. Well, goddamn it, he developed.
And he did it. And he answered the call.
He
developed. But that doesn't mean Sirianni did. Sirianni did.
No.
Yeah, and listen, when Jalen Hurts was down, you couldn't win.
When the team
you couldn't win when Jalen Hurts was down. So I'm not giving him coach of the year.
Okay.
He's not getting that from me.
But at the end of the day,
he couldn't do what Kyle Shanahan did. He couldn't do what Kyle Shanahan did. Kyle Shanahan lost not one, but his top two quarterbacks and won. He had a guy that started in the NFL before in Gardner Minshew and still couldn't win a game.
Yeah, but you know you can't trust no man with no mustache just thick, man. Come on, man.
That's true. That's true.
Who's sleeping in a RV?
I will go with that.
You can't trust no man with no mustache.
I will go with that.
I will go with that. How about this? The switch to sport. You know, because I know we already know the Eagles gonna win the Super Bowl. We getting ready to go to the parade and all that.
No, I want to know. I just want to know too. I just want to let you know too. As a Philadelphia fan, it hurts our heart to wake up and watch your wonderful show. I'm talking about wonderful, award-winning. I'm talking about you should get all the accolades you deserve.
Appreciate you.
But it hurts our heart to see you talk about the Dallas Cowboys for 20 minutes when the Philadelphia Eagles is the number one team in the NFL and in the division.
Cowboys.
And in the division. I'm just saying, Steve, we got to do better.
I got to tell you something, man. I got to tell you a little secret. I don't like talking about the Cowboys as much as y'all think I do. I just am a person that pays attention to ratings. As much as it sickens me, man, they everywhere. These Cowboy fans. I even wrote it in my book. If a nuclear bomb dropped, 3 things would survive. Rats, roaches, and a Cowboy fan. They're everywhere.
God damn.
You can't escape these damn people, man.
Is it the marketing machine?
It's like, it's unbelievable.
Marketing machine.
I guess so, because from the time that they said, we going to put our franchise on Thanksgiving Day in the 60s, they have been the most popular NFL franchise. I've tried, my brother. I have tried. I mean, I understand the 20 minutes, but it's 2 hours. Yeah. You see me talking about everybody else. Yeah. I'm a Steelers fan, bro. Yeah. Okay?
I thought you was a Giants.
No. I'm a native New Yorker, but I'm a Steelers fan. I grew up, the first football player I ever saw was the Immaculate Reception when I was 5 years old. And I fell in love with the black and gold from that point forward. But I don't root against the New York teams unless they playing against the Steelers. Just like I don't root against, listen, I'm Knicks first, New York always. So it means I root for the Nets against everybody but the Knicks. Right. I'm the Yankees first, New York always. So I root for the Yankees first, but I root for the Mets against everybody but the Yankees. That's how I represent. Okay? I'm telling you, man, I've tried. I'd give anything for somebody to come along and resonate as much as them damn nauseating, disgusting Cowboys fans. They make me sick.
Me too.
And I'm telling you, man, people think I'm laughing. I'm not bullshitting. I love it when Cowboy fans are misery. Nothing pleases me more.
Nothing.
And when they lose, I'm every bit as happy as I seem to know that they are miserable. Nothing pleases me more in the world of sports than the misery of a Cowboy fan. But they are everywhere.
Everywhere, like broken glass.
You ever used to watch the show The Odd Couple?
Yeah.
The old days. You know when they're doing the intro to the show and this old woman punches Felix Unger in the street?
Yeah.
That's what happened to me with a Cowboy fan. 3 years ago, some 75-year-old woman comes up to me and punches me in my arm. You leave my Cowboys alone. This is the shit I've had to deal with.
Damn.
This is what I've had to deal with. It's the absolute truth. Black, white, Latino, it don't matter. I ran into a Native American that was a Cowboy fan. You can't escape it, man.
They've been torturing. Now listen, let me switch up sports.
And let me just say this before you switch up sport. And I don't know why y'all act like that, because y'all haven't won nothing since 1993. 95.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
My first year,
give them 2 years
out of high school. Yeah. I'm 46 years old.
Right.
So I just want to tell y'all, I don't know how y'all still America's team. They should have been changed that.
They generate the most money.
Oh, that's why. Huh?
And the back pages. And the paraphernalia. They do everything but win.
Everything but win.
Everything but win.
We got to remix DJ Khaled's song. All we do is lose, no matter what. Yeah. You know we sold the merch and we get them tickets up. Every time we step up in the building.
I like that.
All the Cowboy fans, shut up. Yeah, then they just stand there and watch the Eagles go to the Super Bowl. But go ahead and get to your question,
now,
man.
Welcome to another episode of $1 Million Worth of Game Business Spotlight, where we give you the news you can use, and we help you get up off that couch. Like Gil used to be on the couch. I know some are.
Stop saying that, nigga.
No, I'm just saying you was on the couch. It's cool.
No, we give you the game that could get you some change.
Yeah, the game will get you some change, but still get them off the couch. Like you was a couch warrior one time. It's cool though. We all was. We always based on Warriors couch. It don't matter. The count is on your jacket. Forget it. Don't even worry about it. But listen, today we got my man Ari. He doing the wholesaling. He doing his thing. He young. He only 25.
25 years old.
He haven't been in the game long. I'm talking about he's getting that bag, man.
You think he's a smooth nigga too.
Yeah, he think he's a hell of a guy.
You give a nigga like this, he was just working. We was working there 4 or 5 years ago.
All right, so 4 years ago, I was working as a banker at Navy Federal.
Right, see, look, you give a nigga like this a couple $1 million, look at him now. You think he the smoothest nigga in the country.
Yeah, he like fucking I'm smooth.
Rico Suave, Ari Suave.
Ari Suave.
Yeah. But look at you, man. You doing your thing in the real estate, man. And you going to give our people some game today.
Yeah, man. So to everybody watching right now, don't let Gillian Wallow fool you. I was JBM just barely making it a couple years ago.
Damn.
4 years ago, when I was actually at Navy Federal, I never had more than $1,000 to my name, and I was actually overworked and underpaid. But everything I'm about to share with you guys in this episode, the strategies, the step-by-step info, that's what took me from that overworked, underpaid banker to over $400,000 in real estate this year and $10 million of real estate sold. And you guys can do the exact same thing in this game I'm about to break down.
It's that easy. Hold on. Give me that number.
Listen, man, what you got to do is you got to text Sir Shaw, that's SIRSHAA.
What's on the screen?
74121. Sir Shaw, SIRSHAA, the 74121.
Text that number right now.
And listen, he's giving everybody a 2-hour free course. Everybody's getting a course, 2 hours for free.
So you mean to tell me a person could text that number, they going to get a free course that's 2 hours long, that's basically going to show them how to get the fuck up out their basement, how to get the fuck about your mama middle room,
Off the couch.
how to get the fuck about your mama's back room.
Warrior.
How to, you might got your own shit, but how to step out of just being a 9-to-5 motherfucker. You might be a 9-to-5 motherfucker that's like, I don't want to get up and go to work and clock in every single day at 8:30, 9 o'clock. This 2-hour course going to show them how to not do that.
From A to Z, start to back, start to finish, front to back, all that. Exactly what you said.
Well, give it to him. Talk to him.
All right, man. So when it comes down to this real estate stuff, the number one objection that I hear from everybody is that, oh, I got to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to flip a house or to, buy the house, right? But people don't know about the strategy called wholesaling, where the way that it works is just like people flip these shoes for a profit, just like they flip rollies, you can flip houses and you don't got to buy them. You don't got to repair them. And you don't need to be a licensed agent, which people think you need that too to get in the real estate game. So all you're doing is basically identifying distressed properties, and it works so well because people don't know the average age of a property in the United States is built in the 1970s. And everybody's seen these houses, guys. You've probably been to your auntie, your grandma, grandpa house. They got the old cherry cabinets, old countertops, old floors. They got
Old
the
radiators.
old everything. And people don't want to live in houses like that. They want to live in nice renovated houses with the granite, the nice flooring, the new roof, the new appliances. That's what people want. And that's why getting in this wholesaling game is so crucial, because you just got to find those houses and then you sell them to the people that want to rehab them, fix them up, and then sell them to families. And that's how you get those 5-figure checks. So essentially, the way that you can get started is these houses can be vacant. They can have tall grass, overgrown windows. All you need to do is contact the property owners, and you can do that by going to a website called PropStream. And once you contact them, you're going to make them an offer for the house, and then you're going to add a fee on top of it. So let's say I find a bando or something in Southwest Atlanta, $150. If I can sell it for $175 to a flipper, what did I just make? I just made $25,000, and that's all you have to do. Find the houses, sell them to the real estate investors.
How do you find out the people that want to buy houses?
So the way that it works is a lot of these homeowners, they've got the property, it was probably damaged, or now they don't want to be a landlord anymore. There's a tons of reasons people want to sell their houses, but usually the older houses, the maintenance just gets up too much. And if they got the property inherited, they don't want to spend all that money trying to keep it up. They'll say, hey, I'll just sell it. And that's when you come in, because as the wholesaler, you find the opportunities in the sellers. They want to sell. And then you're going to find the real estate investors that want to flip the houses. And the way that you find them, just like Gilly asked, you can go to websites like PropStream, Atom Data, and you'll pull data like property records, and it's got all their information on there. And then all you got to do is call them, text them, reach out.
Now, what if when you go buy it, it got like backed up water bills or bills on it? How did that go?
So when there's any types of liens on the property, and for those of y'all that don't know what a lien is, it's essentially a right against the property for some unpaid bills. So like I had a lady one time, she had a $4,000 water bill, right? But that gets paid off when you sell the house. And people are wondering, well, even if I get the house for $150 or $200, I still don't have $200,000. That's okay, because guess what? The buyer, the fix and flipper, the investor, they're bringing the money. But you're probably saying, how am I going to use their money? And this is actually a gem for you guys. Closing attorneys do something called pass-through funding. And all that is when you go and you sign to close on that house, the attorney uses the money from the contract, from the real estate investor, to buy the house from the seller. And then the house goes to them, and that middle fee goes to you, and the seller gets what you offered them for the house.
That's major. Like, did you ever have any issues where you went to go get something and like the house was just so damaged you couldn't bring it back? They couldn't bring it back, or they was like, yo.
It's so easy, Wallow, to sell these houses because, again, like that just leads to the issue that we have in real estate right now. For those of y'all that don't know, there's a huge inventory shortage in the market. People want more houses. Like, it's so difficult to buy a house right now, not because the rates are so high or people just can't get approved for loans. It's because there's an inventory shortage. Every house you're looking at across the nation is getting multiple offers. So that's why, as a whole, it's not a better time to get into wholesaling right now, because there's so many opportunities out there. You just got to be able to go and find them. And when you find them,
and like right now, it's not a buyer's market; it's a seller's market, right?
Absolutely. Even with the rates going up,
right,
it's still a seller's market.
So if
because
you find
the inventory shows.
So if you find some houses at this point in time, is even more likely that you're gonna get even more money, right? Because the houses are going for more.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
And then another thing I love about real estate, guys, like, think about it. Everyone needs shelter. And that's why this business is scalable and sustainable, because at the end of the day, all these other industries and niches, they'll have their cycles. When consumer spending goes down, we in a recession, these other industries aren't going to do so well. But I'll tell you one thing, real estate has been around for hundreds of years, and it's going to continue to be around, because the idea is everyone needs shelter. Everyone has some sort of business of some sort. They may need commercial space. And that's why I guarantee to everybody watching right now, if you get in this real estate business, you will have a skill that's going to pay you for life.
Give them that number.
That's major. What y'all need to do right now, in order to get the 2-hour free course, and then I'm going to get into all the stuff that's going to be in that 2-hour free course, you need to text Sir Shaw. That's SIRSHAH, the 74121. That's Sir Shaw, SIRSHAH, the 74121.
Yes. You see that number and the name
now,
on the screen?
What is inside of this? What is inside of this 2-hour course? Break down. What they getting inside of there?
All right, guys. So when you text Sir Shaw to 74121, you're going to get the whole breakdown. I'll put together a 2-hour program on how you guys can get into this wholesaling game and actually get your first deal. And for me, my first deal I closed was for $38,000. And that was more than I had made at Navy Federal an entire year of working there. And in this course, guys, I got different sections on how you're going to find these deals, how to talk to and negotiate with the sellers, how to find those real estate investors that are going to pay you that cash for those properties. And at the end, how you're going to close the deal, how you're going to collect those 5-figure checks. So again, from front to back, A to Z, is how to get started in this wholesaling game.
That's major. Like, so I'm Johnny Nobody. All I need is information. I don't even need no money once I get this.
The thing is, Wallow, like, information changes situation. I firmly believe that.
This nigga, hey, let me tell you, you've been a Gilly fan for a long time. He's stealing some of my slang.
Stealing while you spilling?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man.
Finish.
Like, I felt as though getting rich there had to be some sort of trick to it. But at the end of the day, I realized the reason that I'm not where I want to be is because I still don't have the information that I need to get to where I want to be. And that's why I firmly believe, man, if you get the right information and you execute, you'll get to where you want to go.
And let me tell you this, in life, information is key. Information is key, and it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So if you got the right information and you know the right people, guess what? Boom! You out of here. I just figured I'll put that on you. You feel what I'm saying?
It's just major because you was just you said something that's very important. You said you never had $1,000 in your account at once, outside of $1,000.
Never, bro.
And you just seen this game. You said, "Damn, let me jump on this," and just said, you just one day said, "I'm quitting. I'm gonna go ahead and start being a wholesaler."
Yeah, bro, and it wasn't easy. I remember when I actually quit my job at Navy Federal, I went 9 months without finding my first deal, and I wanted to quit, but I knew that staying the course was really important for me. And just like we talk about real estate, I didn't have my subconscious real estate right. And that's when I realized that not only with me staying the course, but getting my mind right, cultivating my mind, that was what was really going to get me out of my situation. And I knew there was more out there for me. Working 40-hour weeks and making $22 an hour felt like I was at the top of the world at the time, but I learned quick that there was way more out there for me, and that's why I took that leap.
That's major. So what are you looking at? You know, how was this year for you in the game?
Yeah, so this year, guys, just like I mentioned, over $400,000 and $10 million worth of actual real estate sold. And that's really easy. Like, that's light. Next year, I'm pretty much on track to do 7 figures already. We're putting the plans in place. And for anyone that wants to get in this real estate game, think about it, guys. You close 10 deals a year and $10K on an average deal, you just made 6 figures. That's one deal every 30 days.
Right.
How do you go about pricing?
A lot of people don't make $100,000 for the year.
No, they don't.
That's your 6 figures.
How do you go about pricing? Like about how much you gonna get your percentage of?
So this is actually even in you guys' 2-hour crash course, guys. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna run something called comps, and that stands for comparables. So let's say, for example, we're in a certain area of Atlanta, right? And you're looking at properties in that area that are going for 150, 160. Let's say you find a seller that she says, "Hey, I want 100 for the house." That's a good sign to you, because if the properties that you're trying to wholesale are going for 150 and your seller is asking 100, and you'll run the numbers, of course, on the houses in the area, that means, shoot, I can make a potential $50,000 in profit, because if these houses are selling for 150 and mine is similar to it and she's asking 100, I got to play there.
That's major.
Right.
You know what I find interesting? This guy's giving away a 2-hour free course. You better jump on it. Right now, you need to text Sir Shaw, that's SIRSHAH to 74121, 74121. Text Sir Shaw, SIRSHAA. And also follow that Sir Shaw on Instagram, because he be giving up game on Instagram. Now, before we get out of here, Sir Shaw, let me ask you something that's very important. You told me about your story, how your mom and dad used to grind and coming to America. Give these people some motivation before we get about it, and motivate these people, encouraging them about where you come from and how you done it, and just the work, your story, not your glory.
Yeah, guys, I think the number one thing that I could tell everybody watching this right now is, no matter what your situation is, what you're going through, whether you're struggling financially, whether you're going through some mental issues, at the very end of the day, the number one most important thing you could do is bet on yourself. I didn't believe that I could leave Navy Federal and my bank account could grow from $1,000, because that's all I knew. But like I said, information changes situation, and your current situation doesn't determine your final destination. So the number one thing you guys could do is bet on yourself and execute.
That nigga got game, you hear me?
He be dropping it again. And once again, get this 2-hour course. I'm talking about 2 hours where he giving you the,
let me tell you something. Because when you do this 2-hour course, right, there's going to be an initiation to change your situation. Feel me? To take you to a different destination. You know what I'm saying? My man, he got he put that shit together. You know what I'm saying? He took Gilly 101. You feel me?
He was still a some G. But once again, I need y'all to get this 2-hour course, man. All you got to do is text, man. Text Sir Shaw. That's SIRSHAH to 74121. That's Sir Shaw. SIRSHAH to 7.
Y'all see it on the screen.
121. Stop playing games. Get this game. And like he said, man, he was working. A minute ago, he was JBM, just barely making it.
Or DFP. Dead fucking popped.
Talking about he was done, man.
Yeah, man.
He used to go inside of fast food restaurants and just eat the ketchup and mustard on the side, take packs of them and walk down the street and eat them. He was wounded. He was a wounded. I'm talking about this guy was wounded, man.
He was a wounded warrior that never went to the army.
Yep. He was just on the streets, man, just going through it. But look, now he's in a better place, man. But check him out. Once again, get the free course, 2 hours long. He's giving y'all $1 million game all in the course. Don't play no games. Listen, man. I know you're looking at all these houses. You're walking around neighborhoods. The houses is right there in some of people's neighborhoods. They walk by them every day to go to the store. They go to all they have to do is get this course, learn the game. Next thing you know, you're on another level. Right now, text Sir Shaw, SIRSHAH to 74121. And this was another episode of $1 million worth of game business spotlight. And it's just like that. Right. Switching to sports, right? We're going to change the sports. Who do you got? Errol, Spence, Bud Crawford? Tank Davis or Ryan Garcia?
Oh my God, you picked the two hardest ones for me, man. Let me give a quick breakdown. If this
Talking to the mic more.
I'm sorry. Let me give a quick breakdown. If this was 3 years ago, be specific, if this were before the nasty car accident Errol Spence got into, I had Errol Spence beating him because he's too small. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think that Bud Crawford has grown into his own and he's a bigger body. I actually think he's the superior boxer. I think that Errol Spence is bigger and stronger. But Bud can box. Got a lot of heart, ain't scared, and can hurt you. If I had to bet, I would pick Bud to win by decision. I would. But either of them could take each other out. I don't think Garcia and Tank Davis are going the distance. Somebody get knocked out.
When you say somebody, who?
No.
Anybody? What are you saying?
I'm gonna go with Tank Davis. Here's what I'm believing. If Ryan Garcia, with his quickness and his length, stays away, he can do some things. But I think because of all the chirping, he gonna find himself in a situation where he gonna engage with Gervonte Davis. Yeah. That is a mistake.
He's done.
That is a mistake. You engage with Gervonte Davis, he taking you out. That is what I believe. But be clear, Ryan Garcia is lightning quick, with power, and Gervonte is one of those dudes, he don't mind taking just so he can give. And he got to be careful too, because getting hit by these other cats ain't the same as getting hit by Ryan Garcia. Think Sugar Ray Leonard versus Hitman Hearns. Think about their first matchup. Hearns stayed away, used the jab, detached the retina in that fight, right? Sugar Ray, Angelo Dundee, you losing it, baby, you losing it. Famous words. Sugar Ray comes out, 11th, 12th round like a bat out of hell and stalks him. Body shots, head just going after him, crazy. Ultimately takes him down, knocks him through the ropes once, okay? Hearns holds on. He's not knocked out or anything like that, but he fell. He got up, and then Sugar Ray went in and finished him off, okay? I'm saying to you, that's how I view Gervonte versus Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia's shot, even with his speed and power, he cannot engage. He cannot stand there and trade shots with Gervonte Davis. That is a mistake. He cannot do that. But Gervonte can't just be willing to take shots just so he could give one or two. It's going to take more than that to beat Ryan Garcia, but I would pick Tank Davis.
Now,
I would pick Errol Spence. Bud's my guy. Errol's my guy. I give Errol Spence a little bit more of the edge, maybe 52-48.
Okay.
Just because I think Errol was in a car accident, but I don't really see no ill effects from it.
But who has he fought?
He fought Danny Garcia.
I like Garcia, but Garcia.
He fought Danny Garcia.
That's a hard one for me.
He fought Ugas, who I watched physically beat Sean Porter, and they gave it to Sean Porter. So
Ugas is good.
Ugas is good. He's a world-class fighter. He beat Ugas and put him in a hospital for like a week or something. So, I think that we don't give Errol Spence enough credit.
I love Errol Spence.
On his chin. I've never seen Errol Spence hurt. I actually seen Errol Spence in the middle of a fight put his hands down, and the guy punched him clean in the chin, and he was looking for his mouthpiece.
Yeah, but your point is valid if I said he was going to get knocked out. What I'm saying to you is that I think Crawford is going to recognize what you just said. And Crawford ain't going to stand there and engage with Errol Spence where he gets to get hit by Errol. Errol's going to have to box. And even though I think that Errol is an elite boxer, I just think when it comes to that pure skill, Crawford has a slight edge, enough to win by a decision. I don't think he'll knock Errol Spence out. I think Errol Spence could potentially take him out because he's the bigger, stronger dude. But he got to catch him. And I don't think Crawford is easy to catch.
No, but I done seen people that was a lot less skilled than Errol Spence catch Terrence Crawford.
Okay.
Like one thing about Bud is he's going to get hit because Bud is willing to get hit to give you something. He got that type of dog in him.
But I also think that Crawford, Bud, as you would call him, I think the issue with him is that he's like Gervonte from the standpoint they taste you. And when they know they can take it, they coming. Yeah. With Errol, I think anybody that gets in front of Errol knows what Errol could do to you. You're not going to stand there for that.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
He going to move.
Right.
He's going to move.
And Errol's a hell of a stalker.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great fight.
Yeah.
I feel like either one of them could win. I just lean just a little bit more towards Errol Spence.
I don't blame you.
Because
if this
Errol
was 3 years
Spence
ago,
is a natural 147 pounder.
That's true.
I seen
He's actually bigger than that. He should be at 154.
Yeah, I seen Crawford come up from 135 to 140 to 147.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So he already 3 weight classes, whereas Errol Spence could go up to 154,
I'm glad you brought something else I
160.
want to ask you about. I feel you on that. You want me to tell you the number one reason why I'm suspect on Errol Spence in this particular fight?
Why?
I didn't like Errol against Mikey Garcia. I thought he should have destroyed that little man.
And I felt like
he should have destroyed him.
And you know what I felt like? I felt like everybody said Errol Spence only gonna go in there and maul him. So he was like, okay, that's what y'all think I'm gonna do. Now watch me outbox this kid who y'all say I'm only gonna go in there and maul him.
But I'm just saying, when a guy moves up 2 weight classes to fight such an elite fighter like Errol Spence Jr., you're supposed to take him out.
Yeah, but you also know Mikey Garcia is a Mexican. Their chins are wired a little different.
I got you. I've seen some Mexicans that have fallen, but I understand.
I seen some. You can run some of them into a Mack truck. They ain't going to sleep.
Some of them, that's true.
They chins. I don't know how they making the chins, but they chins is wired a little different.
That's fair. I know Fernando Vargas wasn't one of them, but that's a different story for another day.
Yeah.
Now you got the book coming out, right?
Yeah, bro.
But outside of the book, I need you to give up some game on me and Oz River Game. Okay. There's a lot of young brothers and sisters, minorities, they going to college.
Yeah.
And everybody is getting into journalism, podcasts, and communications. Mm-hmm. What game could you give them to get to the level of you? Because you got to understand, back in the day, it wasn't too many of yous. Yeah. That was one that was aggressive and interactive with the players. It wasn't none of you. So what's the game you get them to get to your level?
Well, the first order of business I want to say is that I'm here. What I mean by that is that when you've been blessed and fortunate enough to be in a position that I'm in, any brother or sister that comes my way and needs my advice or anything like that, I'm here for that. I'm here to help. That's my job, to be honest with you, and I take that very, very seriously. Ain't no brother or sister that can come to you and tell you that they came to Stephen A. asking Stephen A. for advice and I ain't give it to him. Mm-hmm. That's number one. Number two, I would tell you follow the money. And what I mean by that is that we got a lot of people that aspire to walk into the field of journalism, but they may not be paying attention to the landscape that exists. The newspaper industry, from a paper standpoint, is a dying industry. Mm-hmm. Digital is elevating, which is why they all going the digital route. But when you're doing digital, there's a lot of personnel that you may not feel you needed compared to what you needed in years past. And so the visual medium and the spoken medium is also a very, very powerful, because people, even though they're interested in reading, the fact of the matter is it doesn't compare to how interested they are in hearing and seeing. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? When you see us talking, it has far more of a profound impact than you just reading something. It's a detachment when you're just reading. But when you visualize or when you hear and visualize, that's really, really potent, and you got to pay attention to that. And the reason why I say follow the money is because that's where the money is, okay? Because that's what's going to inspire you to move forward, because you want to be in a position where you can provide for yourself. Everybody ain't going to do what I did coming up in the industry, where I worked for free to start off my career doing about 4 or 5 internships before I ever got paid. They ain't going to do that now.
Not in this day.
Not in this day and age. They ain't going to do that now because they're looking at avenues, and there's more to be made. The other thing that you got to remember is substance. Like, we're sitting here talking, okay? It didn't take me long to figure out that y'all kind of know what the hell y'all talking about when y'all talking about these damn sports. Mm-hmm. You got a lot of people that say they want to do shit, but they don't want to put in the work.
Right.
And they don't want to read, they don't want to research, they don't want to listen to people who might know. Right. They want to listen for the purposes of challenging you and make sure, well, let me debate this brother because this is how I feel. Well, no. Like, there's certain positions that you might see me talking. I might have talked about Kyrie one day. I might have talked about Colin Kaepernick another day. I might have talked about Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or something. But I'm in a position to know stuff that the average person doesn't know. So a lot of times that taints my perspective because I might have some inside intel that the average person doesn't have.
Right.
You want to be in a position where you get access to that as much as you possibly can. That way, when you open your mouth, they know you know what they don't know.
Right.
At least some of the time. And when that happens, that goes a long way. But I would tell you again, you also pay attention when I say follow the money, because I'm turning around. Like, for example, I work for ESPN. Well, guess what? I'm picking up the Wall Street Journal, or I'm picking up the Hollywood Reporter, or I'm picking up these other publications. Well, ESPN might be sold. Ain't nobody at ESPN tell me that. Nobody at Disney told me that. But I'm seeing the tea leaves and I'm hearing the noise. And I'm like, okay, well, if that happens, well, who's going to buy them? You know, you think about Apple, you think about Amazon, you think about these other outlets. You're paying attention to all of this stuff. Why? So many times we get caught up in our business that we don't pay attention to business. Business sometimes influence our business. So if that's what's going on, you got to pay attention to that. And you got to make sure that you're mindful and aware of some of the minefields that lie in wait. Because a lot of times decisions are made about you that have nothing to do with you. It had everything to do with something that's far and away irrelevant in the grand scheme of things to you. You're just a victim of the circumstances it's dictated. So it's about knowing your business. It's about following that money. It's about understanding stock prices might have dropped about $13 a few months ago. Okay, well, what the hell is it now? Is it elevating now? Why does it matter if it's elevating now? Because all that noise I was hearing about it potentially being sold, suddenly it don't matter right now because it's back up. And because the stock prices are where it needs to be, why would you want to give it up? Those kind of things that you're thinking about, you're paying attention to all of those different things because it edifies you and positions you to make sure that you're making the right decisions. You might have this podcast, a hit podcast, you're doing good things, big things. Boss 2's very happy with you, blah, blah, blah. All this shit's going on. But then Spotify comes, or Stricter, or Apple, or Amazon. Well, we love you too.
They do.
All right? And they, you know, and they offered you this, but we gonna offer you this. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm counting the dollars. But again, it's business. So if you're talking to Stephen A., I ain't just counting the dollars. Okay, I just started my own podcast. Well, guess what? I could have done a podcast for ESPN. I didn't do that. It's on my own. Why? Because I own my masters. I own my RSS feed. I have my own content. This is what I do.
See. Now you're talking.
That's right.
When you say RSS feed, people don't know what that means. And I'll be trying to educate people. You're talking now.
That's right.
And that's important. And one of the things I want to say, all them people do love us. But this is our family. Barstool is our family, and they understand business, and they educated us about business.
That's right.
And they sock it to our pocket like a rocket. Follow the money.
That's right.
I want to ask you this, though. Along ago with you doing your thing, and you saying that, I just need to know something that's important, because I don't think people understand it. Because you and him got similar qualities. This dude's a statistician for no reason. He don't get paid to be a statistician. He don't get paid for sports journalism. He just know this shit for no reason. I don't know. He just sit around, watch a game, watch a fight, all this shit. I don't know why. Because that's just loser stuff to me. Preparation. When the morning come, everybody going to write first take. That night before, like, how do your life look like? You got your notepad. Like, you got to watch a bunch of stuff to be spitting this stuff. Like, how's it coming to you? How do you prepare for that? For when that camera come on in the morning, how do you prepare for that?
In the same way that you brought up what he does. It comes natural to me. The work that I put in ain't work to me.
Because we love it.
We love it.
If I often tell people, what would I be doing if I were a billionaire? Didn't have to work for a living, just had this money, knew my bills were going to be paid, my quality of life was going to be where I wanted it to be, et cetera, et cetera. I would be around sports. It's what I love to do.
You
see what I'm saying? And so because of that, it doesn't feel that way. And so what I've told people when I'm on a lecture circuit, I give speeches and stuff like that, I'll tell people there's a difference between a job and a career. A job is doing what you have to do to maintain or elevate your quality of life. A career is doing what you want to do. It just so happens to do that too. There's a difference. And so when you have an opportunity to do what you love to do, you'll find yourself doing things you normally wouldn't do. Instead of working 8 hours, you work in 12. You work in 15, and you don't even know it because it didn't feel like work. Nobody has to ask you to punch a clock. You don't even thinking about punching a clock because it's nothing to you because you're living it. And when you have that going on for you, you're on the verge of doing something special because it means you found your calling. And that's what it's about. So for me, yesterday's a perfect example. So I got 2 daughters. I got to go see them. Daddy's got to spend time with his little girl, but I know these games are on. So guess what? I didn't skip the game. I just went to them and turned on the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I multitask.
Mm-hmm.
And their whole thing, no, did I watch every single player? Whatever. Well, that's what you got DVRs and everything for. You can rewind that bad boy,
Right.
you missed a play or whatever,
Right.
you hear the crowd wrong, what I missed. Rewind it back or whatever. Okay, let me get back to playing with them, giving them their time, talking, whatever. Oh, daddy, go ahead and finish the game. You know, and they understand. But they come first.
Yeah.
Right.
But the point is that they also know what I love and what I love to do. But it's never ending. There's not, I don't count hours in my day. My mentality is until the job gets done.
Absolutely.
Until the job gets done.
Absolutely. And that's how we are. You know, we went to the Gervonte Davis fight the other day. We seen a bunch of celebrities there. They all like, yo, we got to get on the podcast. We set up at the hotel right now. You want to do it 3 a.m?
We don't play.
When you get from the club,
Yeah.
we'll be waiting for you.
Yeah.
Just call us.
This is our life.
We in the conference room at Hotel Washington. Yeah, 3 o'clock in the morning. All right, we schedule you for 3. You can come at 4. Okay, you want to come at 4? 4:30. We don't sleep because this is about we trying to make history and we trying to leave money here for people we never gonna meet.
What kind of history are y'all trying to make, man? Ask.
History of this. Everything is possible. You know, go back to the name of your book. You know what I mean? Straight Shooter. You know, a memoir for second chances and first takes. History is already made. I spent 20 years in prison. I've been out of jail 5 years. It's already made. But we add on to it to educate these young people that everybody got a shot out here, man. And you got to believe in yourself. And, you know, and there's multiple things that we teach from different perspectives. But one of mine is it costs too much to be a criminal. It's cool to be smart. And the history of having a platform that wasn't out here. We filled the void in the market. Nobody was messing with the young boys. No platform. I don't care who they didn't mess with the young boys. And it was even some of our people from hip hop or black people because they felt as though, oh, them dangerous. They this, F the young boys. They don't, because they was disconnecting. The young boys might didn't respect them because they wasn't communicating with the young boys. They was talking down to the young boys. So we created something that's making history because we have an outlet for the younger cats to understand and get information from Steve. Why you think I said and asked you, how do they come about doing this? We put information out there. Information that the people that the world forgot about is our audience and they tapping into and they like, damn, well, I go to a temple. I'm going for communications. I look at their podcasts all the time for whatever they look at it, but now you giving them game. And that's what it's about. The history of creating something that talk to people and give them information, nanosecond messaging, quick, wherever you're on social media, wherever you're here, where they're able to get digestible information, not this long, drawn-out thing, because we living in a time where as though people attention spans like this. You think I got time to be figuring out all this? A person to go to your show or go to any show and they speed it up to where their team, what they need to hear. Because you know why? It's a battle for attention. I know I got to watch this on Netflix every week. I know I got to watch my team game every week. I know I got to listen to this music. I know I got to watch this podcast. People already got their spaces booked in their life every week, just like you do. Yeah. You got your spaces. So it's like we're trying to create information, wherever it's about life, wherever it's about relationships, wherever it's about staying out of the street game, wherever it's about. That's our history, creating that space for people to come and get information in a nanosecond.
Well, my response to that would be this. I hope you realize that makes you more important than somebody like me. Because, see, the path that I had to travel, although it was conventional, one of the things that make people uncomfortable, I never went to prison. I never committed crimes.
That's cool.
The reason why, though, is because the criminals were the ones who protected me.
That's how it was back in the day.
In Hollis, I'm from Hollis, Queens.
Right.
I'm from Hollis, Queens.
Yes, sir.
So they see you doing something right, they like, leave him alone.
They, not only that, they slapped me upside my damn head
Get
if
your
I
ass to
thought
school.
about doing
Get your
something
ass to school.
wrong.
Right.
Get your ass home.
But that was
get your
what
ass
we
to
grew
school.
up in.
They watched my back, right? And so my point to you is that you got a lot of cats, and one of the things that I would say to a lot of youngsters out there, as both of y'all are spitting game on everybody, is this. It's very important they understand this. Somebody criticizing what you do is different than criticizing who you are.
Absolutely.
If you see somebody doing something stupid, there's a difference between saying that's stupid
and you're stupid.
you're stupid.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Because if they said you're stupid, you got a right to be offended. You got a right not to want to listen to them. You got a right not to want them in your circle. But if they say to you, that's stupid, they're telling you why it's stupid.
Right.
And that way you know what stupid is, and you know how to avoid it, and you don't end up repeating the stupid act that you got called out on the carpet for.
Yes.
And a lot of times, you got a lot of cats that they don't want to listen, and they point to whatever hard life that they had, whatever hard circumstances that they had to endure, not realizing a lot of us did it. Just some of us got away with it, and some of us didn't.
Yes. Right.
And at the end of the day, somebody like you guys come along and doing the big things that y'all are doing, it's important that they understand, listen, if they came to me, based on what y'all telling me, if I had cats come to me and they were looking at me right now, Ms. Smith, we want your advice or whatever, I would be like, did you talk to them? Because I can give you this corporate American joint.
Right.
Yeah.
And the minefields you got to maneuver your way through. But if you coming from here, there's a path that you got to travel, and you ain't trying to hear what I have to say until somebody like y'all comes along and says, excuse me, that's the path you got to travel before you get to this point. And I'm not talking about levels. I'm just talking about a path. I'm sorry,
don't worry
my
about
bad.
that.
I'm just talking about a path that you got to travel and all of that stuff. And so I just want y'all to know that is very, very important. It's like, it's great that y'all doing big things with this podcast, but I don't want it to be minimized.
Oh, no.
I don't want it to be minimized in any way how important it is that y'all are doing what you're doing. And by the way, it's the job of people like myself and others to help y'all be even more successful.
Oh, you do. Y'all always have our clips on it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's our job. It's
and
our
we
job to do
appreciate that, man.
It really
appreciate
is.
that.
It really
appreciate
is.
that. You know, we look up, and a lot of times y'all might use a clip that we had from the show with an athlete, and we appreciate that. You know
No doubt.
what I'm saying? So
No doubt.
And that's what it's about. And that's why it's like, man, it's just important that we just keep creating. But just you giving that information up, you don't understand how many people that going to school for communications is going to watch this and be like, damn, he gave me the game. He really put the
And
work
there's
in.
all forms of communication.
There's all forms.
You can write, you can talk, you can do a lot of different things
Content.
in communications. You know how many lawyers work in our business? Accountants work in our business?
Yeah.
I mean, there are people from
They all
all
marketing-
marketing. Everything
Without
is in sports.
question. Without
Sports
question.
need everything. But once again, listen, you're going to be in New Jersey
Yeah.
on the 17th of this month. You're going to be at Bookends. I just need to know something. How did you have time to sign 20,000 books, man?
25, actually.
What was you doing?
What happened is that I wrote the book. I wrote it myself. I wrote 90,000 words, and then I had to trim it down to 80 because they said they only had committed to 80,000, but didn't tell me until I wrote 90,000. And they said that, Barnes and Nobles, Target, Walmart. My bad, man. I appreciate it. Sorry,
don't worry about it.
You know, Barnes and Nobles, Walmart, and Amazon, and Target, everything. They wanted these signatures, and so they wanted signature copies, and they sent me 20,000 originally, and then after I did the 20,000, they came with 5,000 more.
How much time did that take you, man?
Weeks. My arm damn near fell off. Right, I forgot how to write the letter S, for crying out loud.
It was
My name is
similar
Stephen
to him
Smith.
in jail. His
It's
arm almost fell off.
So I had all of that going on, and I just said, you know what? If you're gonna do it right. I was very hesitant to write the book, but I said, you know, if you're gonna do it right, and make sure you go all in, and that's what I did.
And before Steve get out there, I just want to give y'all, don't want to let y'all go, let that go by over y'all head. If you're going to do something, do it right.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do it right, don't do the shit at all.
Don't do the shit at all.
Don't even waste no time. A lot of times we be all over the place. We want to do something this week, and then, now we off of it this week. We on to something new this week, and then we off of it a month later. Listen, man, find out what you want to do and do it. Yeah. And do it right. To all the youngins out there, you only get one chance to do it right. Do it right the first time. So you don't got to go back and clean up a whole bunch of nonsense. And that was game right there. He said, I ain't really want to do it, but when I decided to do it, I'm going to do it right.
Yeah.
And now
That's
we,
a gem for y'all.
You got different perspectives of the game. And coming soon, we got his own show, Gilly on Sports.
Right.
Him, athlete, he going to have his show. You got to come and get on there. He's going to be doing his thing because everybody got their different perspectives. There's a big feel out there.
But hold on. Before we get out of there, too, is you got to vote, right, on MVP, right?
Yes, I do.
Jalen Hurts.
I just told you. I'm up in the air right now.
Why you up in
Up
the
in the
air
air right
the
now?
Season is
Patrick
over,
Mahomes
Steve.
or Jalen Hurts?
Steve, the
It's one of the
season
two.
is over,
It's one of the two.
Steve.
You know Charlie Mack?
Yeah, we know Charlie.
I know Charlie, man.
Listen, man.
I know.
Nobody gets on my damn nerves about Philly more than him.
Tell your lineup.
I mean, he texting. Called me with his son in the car. Called me
crazy,
just talking shit.
You know what I posted up with Steve when you had your top 5, and I posted you up on Charlie hit me, get his ass, Gilly.
Yeah.
He did.
Get his ass, Gilly.
He did. He called me while I was on the air. I said, "You do know I'm on the air, right? I'm on the air, damn it." You know, but that's Charlie, man. He and I go back a quarter century.
He's gonna work for Jalen.
Just wait that vote, man. Just come on, man.
You know what? I would tell you this. Y'all just better win, man. Y'all just better win.
Okay, so
seriously.
So if we go to the Super Bowl,
yeah,
and Patrick Mahomes don't.
What that got to do with anything? The regular MVP of the regular season?
But I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. What that got to do with the price of
That
China?
would really look
got
crazy.
To do with it? That's weeks later.
No, I'm just saying. That would really look crazy, though.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
No, it wouldn't.
Because
you gotta remember, primarily it's me covering the NBA. You know how many times I voted for MVP that wasn't in the finals?
No, but this is a little different. No.
Can't be worried about that. You trying to make your rules
before
just to
we
make
get
it
out
go.
of here.
That's what you trying to do.
But listen, before we get out of here,
yeah.
How many games are primetime Colorado gonna win this year?
I have no idea because listen. I tell you this much: they ain't going 1-11 like they did without him.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
They'll be better than that. I would tell you this: I
think
I'm gonna give Prime 3 years before he's in the national championship picture. And remember, by that time they're extending.
You see his recruiting? You see his recruiting class?
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing a cushion out there. It could be earlier, but I'm gonna give him 3 years. They're gonna improve each year, and I'm gonna give him 3 years before he's in the national championship picture. Those top 12 teams, because they extended the playoff picture from 4 to 12, 12 teams. And I think I'm gonna give him 3 years before he's in that picture. That's what I'm gonna do.
And I'm gonna go on the record right now and say Colorado is gonna win at least 6 games next year and be in a bowl game.
I hope you're right.
I'm going to go on the record.
I hope you're right.
And Shedeur Sanders is going to be drafted in the top 10. I'm going on the record right now.
I'm pretty pissed off at how Prime and I go back a long ways. That's my brother. And I was pretty pissed off at how he was treated by a lot of people at HBCUs.
I'm going to say this.
When he left.
Can I say this? Hold up.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say this. We go down to Jackson State. Mm-hmm. This before everybody got on the was all hype, before people saying they're going to donate money.
We was
and
at
do
the first game.
We was there with Prime, been our guy for years.
Okay.
Bring him to bar stool. This is our OG.
Okay.
We down there. First time we get to Jackson, it ain't no water. We walk into the hotel. Prime and the team is in the pool washing up. There's no water.
At the hotel.
At the hotel. So we go over to the what's name. Not saying it. We go over to the what's name. He said, "Man, I got to fix this gym. I'm gonna spin it." I'm telling we personally there.
Right.
This before the popularity came and everybody going down there like they really was
cool.
He like, I got to do this. I'm upgrade the gym. I'm talking about really being a father down there to these kids, really adding value, bring all his relationships to the school, to bring value to HBCU like never before. Mm-hmm. Millions of dollars worth of marketing.
Yeah.
He did his job. He did a great job. He brung something there. Who gonna step up next? Mm-hmm. It's about stepping up. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I think sometimes with us, I love us, but I know us. Charlamagne said that.
That's
and
right.
we got to understand this. We
do this bullshit to each other all the time.
We kick ourselves down so much, and it's
do
like
it to each other all the time.
We don't have no idea what we should be in life. Is what you want me to do, and if I don't do what you want me to do, I'm a sellout. I'm this. I'm that. I'm this. I'm that. But you ain't taking my journey, and ain't nobody go down there. Mm-hmm. Nobody else step up.
Here's the deal. Let me say this. Let me close by saying this. A couple of things you brought up.
Shout out to Jackson State.
Number one. If you are a person at Jackson State or at Talladega or wherever it is that knew him and helped facilitate him getting the Jackson State job, and you have any kind of salty feelings about him, that's your prerogative.
Yeah.
That's not bigger than the mission.
No.
See, see, we gotta stop. I'm talking about as black people. We gotta stop this bullshit. We gotta stop being at a point where I might disagree with you on this particular issue. I might not have flowed this way on that particular issue, and all of a sudden that's a license to character assassinate you.
No.
Yeah.
No, we have a disagreement about this. But at the end of the day, you're talking to a brother that I'm an ambassador for HBCU Week. I've generated over 12,000 scholarships, in excess of $25 million in scholarships for black kids to go to HBCUs. It's near and dear to my heart. I'm a graduate of Winston-Salem State University, and I don't give a damn what I did. There's nothing compared to what Primetime did for HBCUs. There's nothing compared to what Chris Paul, who didn't even attend an HBCU,
Charles
did for
Barkley.
HBCU. Charles Barkley, Kevin Durant,
Yes.
Kevin Durant.
Steph Curry,
Curry.
LeBron, Melo. These cats and what they've done to bring attention to generate revenue for HBCUs. I don't want to hear anybody like you.
Especially if you're not doing that.
And then the first dude from an HBCU to go and get a job at a Big 5 school, the brother won at Jackson State, generated prestige and revenue for your program. And not only that, he's opened the floodgates for somebody to come in there and follow him and duplicate his feat. But it goes to a bigger issue that you're talking about, because I certainly hear this all the time. You got cats calling me all out my name and all of this other shit. I ain't no black man. I'm a brother. And for people to come at me like that, nothing pisses me off more, because you've fallen right in line to how folks want you to be. Because you disagree with me on this.
On sports.
On this. All right. Now you ignoring all the other shit that I've done just because of this. This is what we do to each other. And what you're going to find, unfortunately, fellas, is that as you continue to climb.
I already know.
And then you're there. You're there. But it's coming even more.
Yeah,
so they're going to sit up there and you on this, you over the airwaves, supporting us, fighting for us, agreeing with us 99% of the time.
No.
The 1% that you disagree,
I ain't shit.
you ain't shit. Just wait for it.
You know
my advice to you.
I'm already on point.
My advice to you, not that you need it, my advice to you is, first of all, 95% of the time, I don't even read what these clowns say.
Right.
I don't pay no attention, because I'm marching forward.
Absolutely.
Because the mission is greater than that bullshit.
Absolutely.
Just remember that.
And I'm like a horse with the blinders on. I don't see the bullshit. I only see in front of me.
That's right.
But as you
bullshit
say,
be slapping the blinders.
on this show-
I don't see it.
On this show.
Every now and then it's all right to see it, though. Just to slap back, just to let people know that's what you're capable of.
No, you know-
and then you back off.
You know what's
You
so
leave it alone.
crazy, Steve? I never see it. He sees everything.
Yeah.
I'm on
And
point.
he sees everything. I just live in my own world. I just want to just.
Because sometimes you need to know who your haters is. Because what'll happen is something that happens, Steve, and then you have all type of people chiming in, and then they try to pull back.
That's right.
When they see you ain't fall, so they could be still being good standards.
I
with
remember
you.
what you tried.
I know everybody that
I
tries some
remember
slick
what you
shit.
tried.
I watch everything.
I remember what you
and
tried.
he know, but that's why you got to disconnect. But I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
On this show, we got a new book coming out, Straight Shooters, a memoir. And outside of the book, he made a commitment on this show that you go get the book, that he will, for MVP, he will be voting for Jalen Hurts. So that's already done. We got one vote already.
Oh, man.
He said it. He
Come on, man.
he done the table. He was like, I got it. So we got that locked in, y'all. Just keep pumping for Jalen Hurts. The Eagles is going
That's
down.
not true, but okay.
But once again,
Right.
if you want to catch, if you in the East Coast, New Jersey, I'm talking about bookends, you want to catch Stephen A. Smith, you want to argue with him about sports, you go get a signed book. He's going to be at Bookends in Ridgewood, New Jersey on the 17th. The book come out on the 17th. Make sure you go get his book. It's going to be online. It's going to be, but you want to see him, you on the East Coast, go check him out. Go argue with him about his teams and whatever.
Can I add this? I'm also be at Barnes & Nobles in Midtown in New York City, on 18th.
On 18th.
Why is that relevant? When I graduated from high school and I went to FIT for a year before I went down to Winston-Salem State, I was a book clerk at that store.
That's major. And you're going back to show him. And guess what? You also, and listen, No Mercy, check out his podcast 3 times a week. It's 3 times a week.
Working.
Yo, do you know what?
He working.
Bro, that's a lot.
Yeah.
In the show, first, you don't, how do you sleep? Do you sleep?
You know what? It's just I'm trying to transition from just doing sports. I talk politics, news.
Yeah, you talk everything on
all
there.
of that stuff. I just didn't want any limitations because so many opportunities have come my way. I'm just opening the floodgates for that right now, and who knows what the future's going to hold as it entails.
But where's the
He-
sleep?
He ain't turning down nothing but his collar.
I get a good 6 hours sleep a night.
Okay.
You know, as we get old, you know, we pop up every day 4:30. Just, God, you ain't taking
Thank you, God.
We still here.
Thank you, God.
So listen, make sure y'all pop up on him. You're an old lady in a Cowboys jersey. You want to throw some jabs and hooks at him.
Get him.
Make sure you pop up on him and hit him with a couple hooks to the body.
I know I'm gonna see y'all at the fight if that fight happens. I know y'all
It's
gonna
happening.
be
It's
there.
happening. We
I
gonna
got
be
to be
there.
there for
Absolutely.
We gonna be
that. I
there,
still
baby.
missed. Last fight I was at was Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury 3.
One more question. Errol Spence or Jerron Boots Ennis?
Jerron Boots Ennis.
I need get to the mic. Get back on the mic.
Right now, I would go with Ennis. I would go with Errol Spence, but here's what I'm going to tell you. Ennis is the future. Ennis is the future. If Errol Spence going to fight him, it needs to be quick. Ennis ain't slipping. He getting better and better. And not only that, he can go either way. He can go conventional. He can go southpaw. He got power in either hands. He's got quickness. He knows how to be aggressive. I like Ennis a lot.
Me too.
A lot.
Me too.
I really do. I think he's the future.
You know, we got him in Philly. We got Cool Boy Steph. We got a squad of boxers in Philly.
I will tell you this about Ennis too that I would like to say. I watched him the other night. He won an undercard of Gervonte Davis. I will say this about him. You know there was somebody special when it's somebody that answers the call, when they know that dude and everybody's expecting something. Like, he don't walk into a ring and cheat you.
No.
He gives you what you expected him to give you.
Absolutely. He come to fight.
That is what a star is made of. You got a lot of fighters that are really, really good. Danny Garcia.
Yes.
Very, very, very good.
Danny.
But there's levels. And I think Boots Ennis, I think he's one of those dudes. I think he's one of those dudes.
Boots Ennis is the future. Jalen Hurts is the MVP. You heard
He
it
said
right
it.
here
Right
from
here, he
Stephen A.
said it.
Smith. You heard him. It is just like that.
Right.